Hello and welcome to Writing Thoughts. In this episode, I want to talk about the invisible toll of writing and facing burnout. There are always those days that bring you down. The days that start poorly, or something terrible happened the day before, or you feel sickly. Then there are those days where nothing has gone wrong, but your energy is tapped and your mind foggy. The days leading up to it feel like your peak, and you are at your most active. And then it all fizzled out. And that's something I want to talk about now. As always, you can read this blog post on my website, thepensleuth.com. There's a link to that in the description below, as well as a link to a free writing course on fantasy world building. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. With that said, let's talk about the topic a bit more. Burnout is commonplace in every career. One could work hard, manage their lifestyle, and take the appropriate breaks to stay consistent. Eventually though, the mind and body decide they are done. Burnout is never fun when it comes along, but it is inevitable and sometimes it hits you at the worst times. Of course, burnout for writers is another challenge in itself. When burnout hits you during your career, you normally tough it out because you have to. For writers, especially if they are writing in their spare time as a hobby, it's a different game entirely. Writing is something you choose to do because you enjoy it. If you don't feel like writing because of burnout, you can take a step away without it having a harsh effect on your life, or any impact at all. It is so alluring to do so easy, and the consequences are almost non-existent. The only problem is, writers face burnout far more often than anyone else would in a more traditional career. When it comes to work, whatever one's career may be, one has a different mentality, and burnout is less potent and occurs less often. And while there is a direct correlation between the number of burnouts one has and the necessity of their work or task, that is only one of the factors. As I said earlier, burnout reaches us all at some point, and there are many things we can do to avoid it, but it does only postpone it. Here are my thoughts on the subject. As a writer, I found burnout to be one of the biggest issues I face. For me, the solution was more than willpower, it was finding work associated with writing that I could do. On top of my teaching and writing, I realized that I could tackle other creative projects that made use of the same skills, but were different enough from the usual projects that it didn't feel like I was doing the same thing. Of course, a change of scenery, especially when it comes to writing, does help as well, so there's no problem with starting a different book, or tackling some short stories for a quick writing project. However, I could also draw and write a webcomic or create a blog post, such as this. There are so many options I give myself, and there are so many options other writers give themselves too. From poetry to collaborative writing, to taking a step back from writing, to do some reading instead. Yes, as I said earlier, there are many things we can do to postpone burnout, but when it arrives, there are so many other things we can do to make good use of our time. Having one constructive hobby is not enough. There are so many other options that we can benefit from. Of course, I've only listed a few. Many factors can increase the toll as well. Overworking oneself, doing too much in one day, every day, for too long can certainly help one reach burnout a lot faster than they would like. In addition, dissatisfaction with one's work or the direction one's story is going is also another factor that can lead to a writing hiatus. Everybody has their own solution to avoiding burnout, but what do we do when it arrives? If you have experienced burnout, I'd love to hear how you used your time to still get something done. Did you tackle a different hobby or chores around the house? When facing burnout, do you think the best thing to do is relax? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, I know that this is a shorter episode, but it's certainly a topic I've discussed extensively in other posts. As with all episodes of Writing Thoughts, these videos are meant to promote discussion. If you have anything you'd like to share on the subject, be it your own experiences or advice for beginner writers, be sure to do so in the comments. And if you enjoyed these episodes of Writing Thoughts, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, as I post an episode of Writing Thoughts every week. Thank you for joining me, and as always, good day, good night, and happy writing.